So just how it all works, and you hear this from me at every meeting. Planning commission meetings are quasi-judicial in nature. All decisions of the commission are based on competent substantial evidence, including testimony provided from this meeting. Thank you, sir. Any person who's not an applicant or agent who wishes to speak will need to fill out a speaker's card located on this side table by the door and turn them into the clerk. Each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak on each item, and this is a 3-minute clock. And please refrain from speaking for the audience, and applause or cheering is not encouraged. Please silence your cell phone. There's also something that I wanted to address with my fellow commissioners, if you guys don't mind. I felt after our last meeting that I certainly was in the need of some additional training on how best to handle meetings. I'm relatively new to this, and it wasn't my time as that way. So I will be seeking out the attorney for that kind of training. And I also wanted to ask whether there was interest in my fellow commissioners in having background training.
What would the training?
How the meetings run.
Robert's rules?
Yeah. And it's something I thought I had a better grasp on than I actually did. And I guess while you're thinking about that, one other thing, one of the things that I did learn at the last meeting, given that I was kind of looking for, I thought that we might have a compromise in us somewhere as a group. And so going forward, I think it will be easier to figure out if that's true if we have a motion and a second, and then we kind of speak about what our position is on that motion. That will then give us the opportunity to know whether something is likely to go through or not.
Well, I'll just vote on it since the motion and the second has been
Well,
placed.
and that's the approach that I took, but I'd like to kind of refine that approach.
I don't think there's refinement, Mr. Chair, refinement required, because if you have discussion and then the discussion is complete, now we have had a couple of instances where there's been a jackrabbit motion before we've had a chance to discuss.
Right.
And that's been, I think, pretty much talked through, and everybody understands that you need to pause a little bit and give people the chance to discuss. And then once the discussion is complete, it's the chair's job to say, any more discussion? Do I have a motion? And when you have a motion and a second, you need a vote. No more discussion.
Well, I will talk to the attorney, and I guess there's I'm going to sort of refine how I run the meetings going forward. So stay tuned. But I guess the other question is there interest in having a training that would include? I certainly will have some sort of training, but is there interest among my fellow commissioners in having training? I just kind of need a yes or no. And if so, would it be something that happens in the daytime? Something that happens? My understanding is there isn't a council briefing on the 4th report on the 4th Monday. So if we want to do before the meeting started, sometime we might be able to do that.
Okay.
Just to kind of, is it worth pursuing? We can certainly.
I'm good because I got trained from the previous city attorney, but so I think I have a pretty good understanding of it. So I'm okay.
Okay. The other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. I think that there's always room to learn more, especially about some of the terms and stuff and the way that development processes are. So I'm open to it.
Okay.
I would agree. I think it's always a good idea to review, even if we think we know. We've got a couple of newer alternates for sure, so not a bad idea.
Okay. So there's some interest, and I will continue to pursue doing that at some point in the future. So thank you, everybody, for that. With that, may we have roll call, please?
David Dahl,
Here.
Margot Moore,
Here.
Greg Sutton,
Here.
Colleen White,
Here.
Justin Lehrman,
Here.
Emily Stouffer,
Here.
Nicholas Andrews.
Thank you. We have minutes before us from the meeting from September 12th. Any comments on those minutes, those changes? Or do I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
May we have a roll call, please?
Oh, you can say aye to this one.
I think you can just do
Okay,
all.
so if we could just, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Procalis, do we have any correspondence?
No,
Do we have any old business?
we do not.
With that, may we begin on new business?
Yes, actually, I'm going to turn it over to the director.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Planning Commissioners. Heather Ireland, Planning and Development Director. I'm here to present the staff report for PC 18-22, which is a redevelopment district rezoning amendment application. So this is an existing RD zoning that the applicant has filed to amend slightly. So I'll run through that with you. I'm not going to read the staff report verbatim, but I've got a little presentation for you, and then I'll turn it over to the applicant's agent to fill in any additional information, and then we can answer any questions y'all have. I'm actually going to flip ahead a little bit to just make sure everyone understands the property location we're talking about. This is almost an entire block bound by 1st and 2nd Streets North and 6th and 7th Avenues North. It used to be home to a restaurant and I believe a Salvation Army. It's been vacant for quite some time. The property was rezoned to RD originally back in 2012 for a multifamily commercial mixed-use project. It again was amended in 2016 and 2017 for a similar project, ending in what is the currently approved RD rezoning, which is for 54 residential units, 57 hotel rooms, and 2,500 square feet of commercial. The applicant has applied to again amend the RD zoning to further clarify the commercial uses on the property. I'm going to go back. Would like to additionally add that they do have a vested height of 68 feet that was granted for a judge in a negotiated settlement. So really the component that they're asking to amend in the RD rezoning, the hotel rooms and multifamily units are proposed to remain the same. They want to clarify the commercial uses as 4,000 square feet of restaurant, that would be part of the hotel, and 1,000 square feet of retail space. Again, the number of hotel and apartments remain the same, and all parking is being provided per the requirements of the Land Development Code. So here's their proposed site plan. It's pretty much the same footprint as was approved in the most recent 2017 amendment. The changes are occurring here, what you see in a kind of a yellow color here, just again clarifying what those commercial uses are a little further than what was in the previous approval. This was, oh, I'm sorry, don't want to skip this. They've provided some updated elevations with the project application as well, not significantly different from what was in the 2017 application for those of you who were here and remember. The application was reviewed by the Community Redevelopment Agency at their September 26th meeting. And as with the previous iterations of this zoning district, was found to be in compliance with the downtown CRA plan, and they did recommend approval with just a couple of notes that I will read to you. One of the first items that the CRA wanted to see was that the applicant reviews the site plan to identify any opportunities to relocate the dumpster, which is currently shown right here. Again, the site plan's been approved already. The dumpster location has historically been here on all iterations of the site plan, but there was some concern from some neighbors, so the applicant agreed they would take a look and see if there were opportunities to maybe move that or shield it a little bit better. And one of the other comments from the CRA, and the applicant agreed as well, was to identify some opportunities to visually enhance the First Street side. I know we have some elevations for the 6th Avenue North, but the applicant did agree to look at some opportunities to visually enhance that First Street corridor side of the building with potentially some artwork or decorative lighting. But I'll go back to what is the purpose of their rezoning amendment application, and it really is just to clarify those commercial uses that you'll see here that are fronting 6th Street. From staff's perspective, this is actually a more compliant application with the current code and the CRA downtown redevelopment plan. It's offering more front-facing retail and commercial uses on 6th Avenue North. So staff is recommending approval of this RD rezoning amendment. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Deepenow, who I'm sure wants to share some additional information.
Ms. Ireland, will you
Yes,
go
sir.
back to your bulletized
Sure.
list, right
This
there?
one? Okay.
Just holistically,
Mhm.
what was the difference there before in 2017 is when you?
So, great question, thank you. The difference was really just the commercial component. So it went from 2,500 square feet of kind of unspecified commercial, if you will, to a little bit more clarified with, they know they want to do a restaurant now around 4,000 square feet, and then that 100 square feet of retail space. And then there'll be a portion that is, I don't know if you can read it from there, but the center is really that hotel and condo lobby that's right in the center. And then you have the retail over here on the western side, and then the restaurant right here on the corner. The prior application really just identified it as commercial, and they weren't really sure, but now that they've really nailed down what they want to do, they've come in to kind of solidify those square footages and uses a little better.
So just to remind me, what was the whole of that before 2,500?
It was 2,500 square feet, really more over here, and
Okay.
most of this was just kind of interior hotel space. Like the lobby was just configured a little bit differently, so there wasn't the active commercial that they're proposing now. So this is this will have more, forward facing to the street front there. That's the main difference.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Ireland. Can I ask my fellow commissioners, are there any other questions for Ms. Ireland? Any ex parte that you need to discuss? And, would the applicant please come forward and be sworn in and give a presentation?
Sure, Steve Deven, I wanted to drive Suite 1200, here on behalf of the applicant.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to pass out, I have a page, I'd like to get it back if I could, but this is in the public record. This is the site plan from the prior approval. And you can see from the site plan that I just handed out that, remind me again, how do I get the pointer there? Okay, right here where it says beach, gear, and retail, this little area was shown as a hotel lobby. And then all of this is shown as basically lockers and storage areas. So there was no activation at all on 6th. So this area in the middle is really what has come alive. I think the original plan had a 2,500 square foot restaurant and about a 1,600 square foot lobby. This obviously has about a 3,000 square foot lobby, about a 4,000 square foot restaurant, and then another 1,500 or 1,800 square feet of retail right in this area. And so what we've done here is we've lived within the footprint of the original approval, because that's what the court approved. We had some conversations about the setbacks and some clarifications on what setbacks were, setback D here and C, and then setback A and B. And then we did have conversations here about the dumpster, and we also had conversations about this facade on First Street. So let me go with First Street first. We agree, we hate First Street. We hate the way it was designed. There's nothing we can do about it, because this is kind of how it came as a result of the court order. This is one of the properties that was grandfathered loosely by the courts to allow it to go up to 68 feet. But in order to get that grandfather, you have to build what was approved by the courts. So this L-shaped building is what was approved and again reaffirmed in the last 2 rezonings. So unfortunately, there's no way to really activate First Street. But what I can say since our last meeting is that First Street is not going to just be gray concrete beams that's the side of a parking garage. It's going to be activated somehow, either with art or facades or a screen wall. We haven't had enough time to actually design or show what it's going to be. But this will have some type of activation. It's not going to be just a concrete wall that has openings for ventilation for the garage. We want it to look nice, we want it to look activated, and so somehow using art or facade or different materials, it will be. Second issue that we discussed was regarding the dumpster. And so let me share what we've looked at on the dumpster. So the same group that owns this also owns this. And so right now, the dumpster for this property is right here. So what we've done is we've looked at the ability to combine this and this together, and that's what we're gonna do. So the only question here is how do we memorialize the fact that this dumpster will move and be combined with this piece of property, which is off-site. So I don't know exactly how, and I'm really hitting Heather with this cold, and also the attorney, Ms. Robinson as well. So I don't know exactly how we're gonna do this, but we're willing to forego this. We're gonna do landscaping and parking here instead, and we'll move the dumpster either here, or we'll move the dumpster somewhere in here. So somewhere in the interior of the property, but we want the flexibility to not necessarily have it be on this property. So that's at least our idea on how to solve the dumpster issue, to move it off of Second and into this area of the interior of the property. Other than that, I think that the rest of the conversation was pretty obvious. I don't know that there was any other real concerns that were shared with us. Happy to answer any other questions you may have, and look forward to the conversation.
Questions for the applicant?
What kind of sundries are you gonna be selling?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, hearing none.
All right.
Thank you. I will now open the public hearing. I don't have any speaker cards. Is there anyone who would like to speak? You can speak now and then fill out a card.
Permission to speak? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Only if you give me the baby.
Everybody wants it. He's awesome. Sorry for interrupting your discussion.
Sir, just swear you in first.
Oh, yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Thank you.
Please state your name and your address.
Joe Abascal, 768 2nd Street North, Jacksonville Beach, Florida. The dumpster that's located in here that we were just discussing, I am the closest resident to that dumpster. I'm about 25 feet away from that. I am super glad that they were going to move it to over there, and I would just hope that that remains the case and that it doesn't in the future get pushed back to its current location. So I'm all in favor of that. I really am looking forward to this project. Currently it doesn't look great, and all the neighbors are really excited for it to happen, so if you guys can help them out, that'd be awesome. That being said, we do have a drainage issue in the area, and obviously, as you know, there's going to be some, right now it's a lot of dirt and trees that help collect the water when it rains, but if there can be somewhere looked into helping the area drain better, because that's not going to be here anymore when this project comes in. So, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Does the applicant have anything to add? Okay, I will now close the public hearing, bring the item back to the board for discussion. Do we have discussion?
I think the additions here are great, and obviously the project is much anticipated, and I think what they're proposing here is honestly an improvement and will be good.
Does moving the dumpster onto someone else's property, how does that work?
It's their property. The property owners own it.
That's correct. As Mr. Devenow stated, the developer does own that property. Obviously, we'll have to look at the code and see what provisions there are to allow that, and then get with Public Works. We usually talk about things like dumpster location, access for other things, utility easements, as part of the pre-app meeting. So we'll just have to consult with Public Works to see what their thoughts are on a different location and making sure it can handle the capacity for this project. So can't give like a yes or no answer that it can move for sure and where to, but we'll obviously have those conversations.
If it does move, would some of those parking spots, I guess, get shifted down? Was that what was gonna happen?
No, it's suggested that it would be.
Yeah, additional parking spaces.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
But you would still have to get rid of some to get to the dumpster, right?
Well,
Or,
again, Steve, even out one independent drive just here again. So this is a driveway right now, right here, and right now the, oh, gracious. That is fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. Okay, so this is a driveway, and right now the dumpster is right here that serves the Ocean View Apartments. So if we are able to combine the dumpsters, and what we would do is we put them here and we would enclose them both, then we wouldn't have to do anything with other than just use the same driveway. If we end up putting the dumpster like in here, yes, we lose some parking spaces, but I don't think it would be fatal to the overall development to lose a couple of spots. So I think we could still do it and be within code.
And you can gain them where the dumpster is.
And that's right, and we gain them, and we gain some back here, that's exactly right. If we put the dumpster here exclusively, these are owned by two different entities, even though it's the same person that owns them both. And so we'd have an agreement that's basically like a cross-access easement between the two that allows this project to use this dumpster not on their property. And that's what we would share with Public Works, and that's what we will be advocating to do if we go exclusively with the dumpster here. Obviously, if we do a dumpster here, we won't need that agreement, but that's how we would paper it. That's how we would.
so if you sold one of the properties, it would still have that agreement?
You'd still have the agreement
Okay.
recorded, and it would require these guys to take the trash from these guys in this location, or someplace they mutually agree to put it otherwise. But either way, I think there's a way, like I said, we just had conversations with the architects and the owners earlier this week, earlier today. And so this is definitely a condition that we can get rid of, even though it's been existing in the last two iterations of the approval.
Through the chair. Ms. Ireland may be able to answer this, but the last speaker's, Joe, the speaker,
Yes, sir.
Daddy, he was talking about drainage. And I think that's Article 10 in public facilities, but he might want to hear what
Sure.
the plan is.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dahl. Yeah, they'll be required to do on-site water retention. Obviously, there's no pond there, so it'll all be underground, just like you've seen Margaritaville, Spring Hill Suites. All their stormwater water retention for the site goes underground and ties into the city system. So it will be addressed in their site planning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have further discussion? Do we have a motion?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
David Dahl,
Yes.
Fred Sutton,
Yes.
Colleen White,
Yes.
Justin Learman,
Yes.
Margaret Warren.
Yes. So congratulations on the approval. Planning department report.
Yes, so just a reminder that October 27th is going to be the Joint Planning Commission VOA meeting. Workshop rather, on the comp plan land development code. I also wanted to point out that our first meeting on this project, which will be a citizens meeting, is actually this Thursday, and you guys are welcome to attend that as well if you just want to come in here with 6 to 8. So if you want to come in here with, the public are saying and, kind of take their input as well, you're encouraged to do that. It's been advertised in such a way that you guys can attend. So, okay, perfect. And that's about it. Okay. Also, you guys should have gotten the link I sent on the website, so you can check in on that. That's dedicated for this project. So as these presentations come up and we have more information put out there, it'll populate that. So,
Thank you, Mr. Copeland.
you're welcome.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned.